I'm Patrick McAndrew from the Open University in the UK, and I'm giving a talk here at the IITE Conference in St Petersburg in November 2010. The talk's called Fostering Open Educational Practices, and it builds on the experiences we've had at the Open University. First in OpenLearn, where we implemented open education resources, released content for free to the world. Then in the OLnet project, where we've got research-focused gathering evidence, where we're looking much more outside the Open University, bringing in those experiences. This all sort of overlaid with that at the Open University UK, we've got a lot of experience in what it means to be open in various ways and are pushing ahead with trying to think of new ways to use this. In OpenLearn, we found that we could really do some useful things. By being open, we could collaborate more fully, we could accelerate the way in which we adopt technology, innovate in what we did, and actually also attract some new students. In OLnet, we've been looking much more at what other people are doing, so we've been looking across all the projects that the Hewlett Foundation funded, and learning from the experience of other people and sort of a collective intelligence view of gathering those experiences together. So what we're now starting to talk about, and the European Union project called OPAL is looking at in particular, has brought out this idea of open educational practice over the resources themselves. In other words, how does this change things? And what we've been finding as we've analysed the work we've been doing in OLnet over the last year is perhaps we can pick out 5 factors that are worth looking at in terms of the practice, and a sort of 6th underlying one. So those 5 things are the infrastructure, the tools that we have for sharing. Then there's how content actually can underlie a lot of other things, that it's an attractor. So you can build sort of social spaces on top of content, build ways of sharing on top of content, and it's got to be careful as we try to avoid overvaluing content that we don't undervalue it. Then there's design, designing for openness, and in this sense we mean really looking at what it means to design for the use of all of that open educational resources. How do you put them together? Slight change in focus actually on what we were doing at first, which was looking at how to best design for providing materials. It's now designing for using materials and what patterns there are behind that use. 4th factor is actually adoption. How do we make use of OER in the way we as institutions might carry out our practice, but also individuals, how they can get value out of these open education resources. And sort of coming up much more and more is policy, and that open education resources, from being perhaps things that first individuals played with, has got a characteristic around being able to support change that's really valuable all the way up to governmental policy levels and certainly institutional policies. It can break down barriers. I said there was sort of a 6th underlying action, and that's sort of understanding all the different contexts, and it's very much what we've been doing through a fellowship program in OLnet, getting people in from around the world, from China, from Russia, from Turkey, from Africa, from US, Canada, from Europe. And every person we've brought in as a fellow has brought a new angle, either as sort of expertise, that they've known more about different ways of doing things, or the new challenges of working in different areas. And I think understanding this context level and the diversity in which openness can help is a very important sort of point towards an open future.